Hi everybody, it's Rhonda. I was going to try to make a PT video really quick for those of you who are a little older, like I was going in. It could be intimidating and terrifying and scary and repulsive to think about fitness and being in shape and being tested on it. It was super scary time for me, especially leading up to COT/OTS/TFOT. It was so scary because I was so worried that I wasn't going to make it because I'm older, and even though you have older standards for your age, it doesn't make it easier, especially if you're like me and you've just kind of been laying around for years and years and years. So I hope this video can benefit those of you who are a little more mature. Usually nurses coming in are a little later in life or a little older. So that was me. And I was trying to join these groups on Facebook about, getting in shape for PT. And they were all so young, and they were posting their running times. And I was like, oh, there's just no way that I didn't feel support. I felt supported, but they just weren't my people. They weren't my age, and they didn't know what I was going through and how my hips were hurting and my feet were hurting, and I just wasn't doing a very good job at getting into shape for this Air Force PT test. So I want to say that up front. I'm not an expert, and if you already do yoga and you run, then this video is not for you. You do not need my help. This is for older folks, people who aren't in great shape, people who don't enjoy fitness. I am your sister friend because I too detest fitness. That sounds awful, but it's just not fun for me. I don't like it. It's just, I don't know. I do it because I have to. So I'm trying to let you know that there's hope for you. If you've done a downward dog on purpose this week and you know what that is, then this video is probably not for you. You probably do not need my help at all getting through this. If you've run a marathon, a 5K, you're not going to benefit from this video. If the only time you run is from the living room to the kitchen refrigerator and back again while a commercial is on during The Bachelorette, then I am your girl, because that's the only time I run, pretty much. If you know the Cracker Barrel menu by heart and you love you some corn muffins and apple butter, then I am your girl. I'm gonna tell you what I did to get through this PT business. If you know who Little Joe Cartwright is and you've had a crush on him, then you're my sister friend. Let's talk about this PT business, okay? You're my age group. I just wanted to preface all of this by just telling you how bad a shape I was in before I started this on this Air Force journey. I was like, oh, let me join the Air Force again. I'll be a nurse. It'll be fun. I'm 47 at the time, putting in my paperwork and stuff, and I looked up the PT standards. I had to run, a mile and a half in 18 minutes and some seconds, which I was telling people about. And they said, oh, Rhonda, you can run that. You can walk a lot and then run a little bit and then walk a little bit and run a little bit. That's easy. So I said, okay, I believe them, that that was going to be easy for me. 30 sit-ups, and the minimum, I think, was 14 push-ups, something like that. So one day I said, okay, I'm going to test myself in all these areas. I could not do one single push-up. Not one single push-up could I do. It was horrifying, and I thought about just giving up right then and there, because I thought, if I can't do one, I'm certainly never going to be able to do 14 or whatever it was. And I started losing heart. My sit-ups weren't that bad. I don't know why. They were a little easier for me. The run, everybody was like, oh, that's going to be so easy, Rhonda. 18 minutes, that's like a lifetime. So I go out and I take my little timer and I start running, and it just killed me. Like, I thought I was going to die. It was terrible. It was horrible. I hated it. I wish I could tell you, oh, I just fell in love with running and now I got that runner's high. That runner's high is a lie. Somebody's lying to us about that runner's high. Or either that or you have to run more than a mile and a half to get it, which means I will never have a runner's high. Maybe you've had one. Again, this video is not for you if you've had a runner's high, okay? You could just watch it to laugh at me if you want, because I was truly pathetic. And I'm saying that to give you hope. No matter how pathetic you feel like you are with these PT standards, there is hope for you. And you can do it, and you can get in shape. I'm not saying that you're going to be one of the Ninja Warriors on TV, but you can get good enough to pass this Air Force PT test. You really can. And let me be your testimony, let me be your inspiration, because no one in the history of the Air Force has been as in bad shape as I was. I had to join Weight Watchers, had to lose some weight, because it's much easier to run when you're lighter. Duh, of course. Weight Watchers really works. It's portion, common sense, easy peasy to lose weight if you follow their program. It's a little point system. You probably know it. You have so many points a day. Once you track your stuff for like 2 weeks, you start memorizing points, and you'll get that. So if you need to take off some weight, I highly recommend Weight Watchers. And they have meetings, and you go and you weigh yourself every week, and you are accountable to someone, and that feels, I do a little better when someone's counting on me, because I feel bad. I don't want to disappoint them. I didn't want my little Weight Watcher leader to be disappointed, so I laid off the chocolate. Although you can have chocolate. I mean, you can have anything you want. You just can't have copious volumes of it. And therein lies the trick, just portion control. So if you need to lose weight, I recommend that. And I recommend you lose weight before you start training, because training is much easier when you're lighter on your feet. So here's a few things I did. And I didn't know if they were going to work. I was just hoping that they would work. There is an app for push-ups and sit-ups called Just 6 Weeks. Highly recommend this app. Just 6 weeks. You download it, and it starts you off real slow. Like, okay, how many push-ups can you do? And you do that many, and you plug it into this little computer program, and voila, it will tell you how many to do, when to do them, and then you rest for 2 minutes, and then you do some more, and then you rest 2 minutes, and then you do some more. It looks like this. It has this little man. And it's called Just 6 Weeks. It's like having your own personal trainer at your house. I looked into hiring a personal trainer, and it's just outrageous. Much easier to do this at your house. Don't feel like you have to train like you're going off to a Marine boot camp. This is the Air Force. They want push-ups, sit-ups, and a run. Push-ups, sit-ups, and a run. And that's all you really need to concentrate on. Don't be trying to do pull-ups, and you're going to hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself before you get to OTS, because the way I see it, you got 2 good knees to give for your country. You should not be giving one of them in a training environment, right? Let's save our bodies for bigger, better things down the road. So you got to get that app if you're horrible at doing push-ups and sit-ups. It will talk you through Monday, Wednesday, Friday routines. Super easy. Doesn't take a lot of time. If you can't even do one push-up, if you're where I was, just start planking. Get yourself in a planking position, because that's the push-up start. And you know, us girls, I struggle with upper body strength. It's just not something that I was born with. Still don't have it, but I have enough now. So there's hope. Another good app, if you're not a runner, Couch to 5K. The Couch to 5K is designed to take you from your couch, and you'll be able to run a 5K in 9 weeks. It's a 9-week program. And what it does is just start you out slow. You jog a minute, you walk. You jog 5 minutes, you walk. You jog, you walk. And it just builds you up every day you run. And when I first heard of it, I was like, oh, this is just going to be a joke. Because the first thing it does is like had me run for 10 seconds or something ridiculous. And so I'm running. I think it makes you run for a minute. And I'm running and I'm thinking, how easy is this going to be to just, all I have to do is run for a minute and then I get to walk? Who can't do that? That's ridiculous. So I'm running and suddenly I can't breathe. I'm like, oh my gosh, how much time has gone by? And I look down at my watch and I've only been running for 10 seconds. And I was dying. I mean, when I say I was in bad shape, I was really bad. It was terrible. So, Couch to 5K will build up your stamina in a way that you don't hurt yourself. I highly recommend you get really good running shoes. I would get shin splints all the time, and I would think, am I running wrong? What am I doing? Then someone said, you need better running shoes. So I went out and I got Hoka's, Hokas, Hoka's. My shin splints went away, and I felt like Pegasus. I mean, it's a really awesome running shoe. I tried Adidas, I tried Nikes, I tried all the ones that look cute. Nothing worked like these big ugly clown Hoka shoes I've got. They are amazing. So you don't get them for fashion. You get them because you don't want your legs to feel like they're on fire. So really good shoes. You just got to invest in them. It's an investment in your health. I joined a gym with an indoor track, and I highly suggest that because running on a treadmill is just not the same. During the PT test, you're going to have to run outside on a track. You're going to have to move the earth under your feet in the elements, in the weather. And you really can't do that unless you're running a track outside. And if it's raining and it's cold when you're training, you just need to get into a gym that has an indoor track. It was very boring to run around this indoor track. It was smaller, so you had to run like 18 times to get a mile or whatever. But it was surrounded by glass windows, so you could see outside. One time I went and I was running, and out of the corner of my eye, I caught this reflection of this lady, and she was a little older lady, and she had a big badonkadonk behind her, and she was jogging, and she was just barely going at it. And in my split-second judgments, I just summed her up and thought, that poor lady, she just looks terrible, haggard, and she's not running very fast. And a split second later, I realized it was my own reflection that I was looking at. So I was shocked. I was like, do I look like that when I run? Because in my mind, I looked super cute, and my ponytail was going back and forth, and I just felt like I looked good. But no, I did not. I looked like a ridiculous old lady with some birthing hips trying to get herself around the track. And it was sad to me. So I started looking up videos on how to run properly, how to breathe, getting some advice, making my strides longer, concentrating on really stretching my legs out because you want to get a lot of distance in a short amount of time, obviously. But it didn't come natural to me. It wasn't fun. I never loved it. Still don't love it. It's just a means to an end. And that end is to be in the Air Force and make bags of money. Okay? Let's just be real. I don't do that. I do not run because I'm really in love with fitness and want to be in better shape and want to be in good health. I wish I could say that was true. I just don't really care that much. All I want is the money. I want the Air Force to keep handing me bags of money. In order to get the bags of money that the Air Force wants to bestow on me, I have to pass this PT test, and so do you, and you can do it. That's my motivator. Just being real. Also, they're sending my kids to college with the post 9/11 GI Bill, okay? Also, I get a great retirement eventually, or my TSP, my thrift savings plan is really going to pay off. I'm stocking lots of cash in there. So that's my motivator. Maybe your motivator is just to be a better human being and to be in better shape. And that's good. That's great. Whatever motivates you. For me, it's just money. I wish I was more gallant, but I am not. I'm not. I just had to run for my life. I had to run to get my kids in college and run to get a retirement and just run. So you just got to do it. There's no substitute for lacing up the shoes and going outside and just running. I got a lot of advice from a lot of different people. Some people were like, oh, you need to do phase 2 training where you get your heart rate in this phase 2 at 126 beats a minute, and then you keep it there for an hour, and then when you have to run, it'll be super easy. And someone else is like, oh, come with me to circuit training at CrossFit. So I went with her to CrossFit thinking this is going to be my training. She's going to keep me accountable. And I couldn't move for a month after she was done with me. That's no good, because you got to be able to move after your workout. You got to be able to still live life and get around and get yourself up and out of the car and out of bed. I could not move. I was so sore. You don't need to do all that. Push-ups, sit-ups, run. The end. That's it. And that's all you should be training for. Download your little app and get down on the floor, start planking right now, and just work at it till you can get at least one out. Start with your app. Say, look, I can do one push-up, and it'll help you. It'll say, okay, let's do one push-up, and you'll do it. And then you'll rest 2 minutes, and guess what? You'll do another push-up. And then you'll rest 2 minutes, and guess what? And on it goes. And before you know it, sister, girl, you're going to be doing 20 push-ups like a boss in time for your PT test, or however many push-ups you got to do. So what happens? You go to OTS. The first week, there's no PT. There's nothing. You're in processing. You're getting shots. You're learning when to salute. Getting lots of stuff done. Turning in financial paperwork and filling out forms and that kind of thing. So we took our PT test the second Monday we were there. So we got there on a Saturday. Had a week of in-processing kind of things. And then we took our PT test that second week. So you're going to get up at 4:30. And you're going to march out to the PT place where the track is. And there's a covered area. And there's an inside area. And then there's the paperclip track. You're going to hear a lot about the paperclip track. It's shaped like a paperclip. It's not your usual lap track. It is marked where you can see, oh, I've gone a quarter of a mile. Oh, I've gone half a mile. There are markers on the ground. So you'll be able to know how far you've ran. And it never repeats itself. You never go over the same piece of track twice. You just stay with it. Stay between the white lines, and it'll guide you around. Don't be scared of it. I liked it a lot better than the track because I didn't know how far I'd run because it was dark, and I was just running for my life, right? You're running for your life. And so I didn't know how far I'd gone. But anyway, you're going to get there with your flight, and everybody else is going to be there, a whole squadron. Everybody lines up. They separate the boys and the girls, and you'll peel off because you got to raise your shirt and let somebody wrap that waist measurement around your... They're going to measure your waist in the privacy of just girls, right? You're going to stand on this block of wood, and somebody's going to take your measurement. And they're going to holler out a number, and they're going to write that down. And you're going to be like, what? 29? Then you're going to realize you haven't eaten in a week. And you're like, oh, yeah, it is a 29. Then you're going to go weigh yourself, and they're going to give you that number. Then they're going to measure your height, and then they're going to write down that number. And you're going to take these numbers to someone. They're recording all this stuff, right? And then you go under this big overhang where there's, AstroTurf, and you line up. And whoever you're across from, that's who you're going to count their push-ups and sit-ups, and they're going to count yours. So hopefully you look across and you see a friendly face. If you don't see a friendly face, or you see someone who's a real stickler for things, maybe try to move. Maybe go to the bathroom and come back and pick out a different spot, okay? You want to see a friend across from you. If it's a guy and you want a girl, they'll let you switch. If it's a girl and you want a guy, they'll let you switch. They don't care. So position yourself in a way that benefits you. You get my drift? So you're going to be there, and they're going, and there's MTIs there, and there's trainers, and they're kind of walking in and out. And they're going to say, your minute starts now. and they hit the stopwatch. And you're going to do as many push-ups as you can. I got to about 25 when an MTI turned around and saw me. Or it wasn't MTI, it was my flight instructor. And he started watching me, and he was like, that one doesn't count, that one doesn't count, that one doesn't count, because I didn't go down low enough or whatever. So I actually did 30, but they only counted 25 of my push-ups because I didn't go down low enough. And I was like, thank God he just turned around then. If he'd seen all of them, who knows how many would have counted. I don't know. But you got to go down to 90 degrees, and you got to lift yourself back up. My advice for push-ups is this. Download the app. Make sure your feet are at least a foot apart. Don't forget to squeeze your butt cheeks and tighten your core. And my brother taught me this. My brother, who's a Marine, a retired Marine. When you go down, there's no sense in controlling that all the way down, right? Just let gravity take you down and then push back up. Just let gravity take you down and push back. There's no sense in you wasting your energy going down and going back up and going down and going back. And plus, you'll do them faster. You'll be able to crank them out if you just let gravity snatch you back to earth. That was some really great advice from my brother, and it really helped me do more faster and save energy. Sit-ups. Here's the thing. You got to keep your hands across your chest, and all of your fingers have to be touching your chest, right? And then you have to go up. You have to touch your elbow to any part of the top of your thigh from your knee to your groin, right? So people are like reaching for their knee. Sister girl, just go as low as you can. Just go to the very bottom with your elbow and go back down and come back up again, because that counts. Don't make it harder. Make it easier, right? So when you practice, hands on your chest, your fingers can't come off your chest, and just go up low enough to touch the elbow to your thigh, the lowest part of your thigh. That counts, okay? That's it. That's all you got to do. I max those babies out because it's kind of easy when you know that counts. So do it correctly and do them fast. So you're going to do your push-ups and sit-ups, and then you're going to be done. They're going to write down the number. They're going to come around and they're going to ask your partner what your number was. So remember to be kind to your partner, and hopefully your partner will be kind to you. So there you are. You're all done with that, and you nailed it, and you're feeling good. And then it's your turn to run, and it's scary. And you don't have your music. You're not going to be running with music in your ears. They won't let you wear earbuds or anything. They did let us have our watches. I heard they changed that. Who knows? But I was glad because I could pace myself. And you start with your flight, and you're all running together. And they start the watch as the last person in your flight crosses the start line. And you run this paperclip track. And it's scary and hard. And everyone was passing me. And I was the oldest one in my flight. And I was not the last one, but the second to last one to finish the run. And they tell you you can't cheer for anyone. There's no motivational cheering that can happen from your flight to you or from anyone else to you. You've got to dig in your soul and find your own strength and carry yourself across the finish line. And they went over that and over and over and over and over it. But when I rounded that corner and my flight saw me struggling, I was struggling. I wish I could tell you that I was like a gazelle, like a Pegasus, like I was just so awesome. But I just could not. I just hate running so much. And it was the worst then because I was like, this is do or die time. I'm running and I can hear my flight. They see me and they start cheering. And immediately they were hushed by the MTIs. And I thought, they knew they weren't supposed to cheer for me. They still did. And they even got in trouble for it. So that made me all the more, because I'm a people pleaser, I'm like, oh, I've got to show them. I'm going to do it. And then there's a little chaplain at the last turn of the track. He's like, I was like, oh, yes, I can't do it.
anyway, so that was it. I had to run it in like 18 minutes, 14 seconds, something like that, but I got 16:53. And that sounds awful slow to you, I'm sure, but it was like I was on fire that day. Adrenaline just kicked in. My husband laughs at me because when he was training with me and running with me, I would be running and he would be walking beside me. He's 6'3", long legs. He would just be walking beside me while I was running. And it made me so mad. I didn't understand why I struggled so much. Anyway, I said all that to say this. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So don't doubt yourself. There's no substitute for actually lacing up your shoes and going for it. Don't be afraid to get on the floor and plank it out during the commercials of the whatever TV show you're watching. You will get better. It's not, I really didn't train that hard to get it done. My final score for PT was at 89.5. And, yeah, I did it. And I turned 49 while I was there in COT. So there is certainly hope for you, no matter what age you are. So you can find out what you're supposed to do by Googling PT standards, Air Force, female, or male, whatever you are. And it will tell you how many push-ups you have to do, how many sit-ups, your run time, and your waist circumference, and all that stuff. So good luck to you. I know you're going to do great. It's going to be easier than you think. Get out there and get after it and be motivated. Find whatever motivates you. Maybe you'll get a runner's high. If you do, please tell me what it's like, because I will never have it. It's not me, again. I just did it for the money. Just here for the money. But I love you guys. I'm rooting for you. You can do it. Just 6 weeks, the app. Couch to 5K, the app. You don't need a personal trainer. You just need a gym with an indoor track. If you do best by running with someone, if that keeps you accountable, then go ahead. I never wanted to hold anybody back. I was like, I truly just didn't want people to see how very, very bad I was at it. I was just embarrassed. Everybody's like, do you want me to run with you? And I'm like, no, because you'll be disappointed. Anyway, I'm anxious to hear how you do. I hope that I have been an inspiration in my old age. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Truly, truly, I believe that. I mean, I went from not being able to do one single push-up to doing 25 mediocre push-ups. So imagine what you can do. If you even just, and I was just training at 65, 70%. If you give it your all, you can blow it out easy. I just didn't want to hurt myself. So, good luck. And leave me a comment and let me know what you think and if you have any more questions. But you can do it. Good luck.